Good afternoon, everybody. We're back out here at Lockhart State Park on the golf course and the water hazards. My name is Ranger Chris, and I'm out here with Ranger Lauren.
Hello.
And today we are looking at the life cycle of amphibians. This is the time of year when frogs and toads are laying eggs. We're seeing tadpoles and their life cycle is starting again. And like us, amphibians go through many changes and developments throughout their lives as they grow up, and we can see some of those out here in this pond today. So we'd like to start with this little gray lump of stuff right here, which I can barely reach with my net handle. That is actually a cluster of frog eggs. Female frogs will lay thousands of eggs in these little jelly-like clusters and attach them to aquatic plants for stability, and they will just stay like that for a couple of weeks until they grow out and hatch out into tadpoles. This is children in the womb. They are helpless outside the egg. They wouldn't survive outside the egg, but eventually it will become time for them to be born. They are born into their larval stage, which we call tadpoles, and they are tadpole shaped. They have a rounded head and body and a long, powerful swimming tail. And bullfrogs will stay in the tadpole stage for up to 1 or 2 years. They remain in this stage for a fairly long time, and eventually they will go through their metamorphosis and become adult frogs. When they're tadpoles, they have gills, so they can breathe in the water. They have small mouths for eating algae and other small aquatic plants. And as I said, they have tails. Well, as they grow into adult frogs and go through their metamorphosis, they lose their tails. They start to develop a regular mouth to eat meat, and they grow lungs to breathe air. But in the meantime, in between those two stages, they have this sort of awkward teenager adolescent sort of stage where they're not really tadpoles and they're not really frogs. So we'll have some that will look like big tadpoles with legs, and we'll have others that look like little frogs with tails. And what we have here is a good example of that. This is a bullfrog that is in this intermediate stage of development. He is going through his metamorphosis, and so he still kind of has that tadpole body, but he's growing the mouth and he's growing the legs, but he's definitely still got that long tadpole tail.
What would you call this, Chris?
I would call this a froglet. Now, as these animals grow, they will absorb that tail. They'll just basically use all that muscle and meat for nutrients and turn into great big adult bullfrogs.
He's got a big tail.
He does have a big tail. Now, over time, like I said, after they lose that tail, they rely solely on those big back legs for swimming, jumping, and all the things you would normally expect a frog to do. But for now, we will put him back in the pond.
Bye-bye, little froglet.
All of his family members. And there he goes. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. The park is open, so please do come on out. We are requiring online reservations for day users, but the park itself is open from 8 a.m. in the morning until 8 p.m. So come on out, go for a hike, enjoy the lovely weather, and come check out the wildlife. Thank you.
See you soon.